A yoga flow for spring cleaning of the mind, body, and soul. In spring, we emerge from the dark period of winter and return to the budding of new life. As the days become longer, we have the opportunity to restore ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually, and energetically. As you move through this practice, you'll notice a lighter yet grounding sensation as you cleanse and detoxify your body. This practice includes a combination of both yin and yang poses to cultivate a sense of balance in your body and mind as you enter into the season of spring. Let's begin in child's pose. So from a kneeling position, bring the big toes together and separate the knees wider than the torso. Fold forward from the crease of your hips and place your forehead on the floor or a block. Place the arms by the sides or extend them forward with the palms facing down to ground into Mother Earth, Pachamama. Release the hips back towards your heels and softly close your eyes and breathe into the back of your heart, your kidneys, and your belly. And go ahead and set your intention as you enter this new season of growth and new beginnings. What is it that you want to create and manifest? Take your time here, breathing in and breathing out for 10 to 15 breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Take a few more breaths in. And several more breaths out. From your child's pose, go ahead and rise to all fours, your quadruped, your tabletop position. And then gently tuck the toes and press back to your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Spreading the toes wide and beginning to breathe into the back fascial chain, elongating the spine from the sacrum to the crown, softening the jaw, the gaze floating from the knees to the thighs towards the belly, the hara, extending the heels towards the earth, Gaia, softening your armpits, spreading the fingers wide, and taking a few breaths here as you inhale and as you exhale. From your downward facing dog, lifting your right leg and stepping the right foot forward and lowering the left knee down to the earth, sliding the knee behind the hip and lift the chest. If the asana feels steady for you and secure, sweep the arms overhead, bringing the biceps towards your ears as you reach up through the sides of your waist, long like the Sushumna Nadi. The hands can remain shoulder distance apart as the pinky fingers spin towards one another, or the palms can press together overhead. keeping your chin parallel to the earth. Continue wrapping the outer arms forward to hollow out your armpits. Take 5 to 8 deep breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Take a deep breath in and surrender the breath back out. With each breath sinking deeper and deeper into the earth, yet lifting a rebound effect rising up towards the heavens. Take one more breath in here. And one more breath back out. Release the prayer hands through the center of you, framing out your front foot, and step back into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. On your next in-breath, go ahead and lift your left leg off the earth and step it through between your hands, lowering the right knee down, coming to your low lunge, Anjalyasana, and continue to breathe here. Breathing in and breathing out. Take a deep breath in, an exalting breath back out. On your next exhalation, gently release the prayer hands, framing out your front foot, and step back to your downward facing dog. Preparing for your lunge prayer twist, Pavrita Anjalyasana. From your downward facing dog, go ahead and step the right foot forward, staying on the ball of the back foot. On an inhalation, rise to your crescent lunge. And as you exhale, bring the hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra, pressing the palms together in a prayer position. Begin to twist the torso towards the front thigh, using the side obliques to deepen the twist. Maintaining spinal length here, lean forward, placing the opposite elbow to the outside edge of your front knee. Stack the elbows directly on top of each other, creating a clear, open line of energy. And then actively press down with the top hand while sliding the bottom elbow to the outside edge of your knee. Actively pressing up with the bottom hand to lengthen the bottom of your ribs so you can create more space for your breath. Rotate the sternum while stacking the shoulders and continuing to square your hips. Detoxifying all those things you no longer need on your path, on your journey. Draw the shoulders down your back and rotate the gaze over the top elbow. Take several breaths here. As you inhale and as you exhale. On your next in-breath, come back to crescent lunge. And as you exhale, place the hands to the mat and step back to your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a nice breath in here and release the breath out. And go ahead and repeat this lunge prayer twist on your left side as you step through with your left foot. Find length in your high crescent lunge. And then as you reach the heart forward and you begin to rotate around yourself, taking your prayer hands, Anjali Mudra, over the heart center and taking your elbow outside the front knee. And continue to revolve around yourself like the earth rotating around its axis. You rotate around your very being. Take a few breaths here, pressing strongly through the back foot, engaging the perineum. The belly moves up and back. Take one more breath in here. And on your exhalation, come back to your high crescent lunge. Deep breath in with length, and as you exhale, release your hands and step back to your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Preparing from your downward facing dog into Pavrita Trikonasana or twisting triangle pose. So step your left foot forward and then step the right foot in a third of the way to shorten your stance. Straighten both of your legs and fold forward. As you inhale, lift halfway up with a flat back, gazing forward out to the horizon. Float the hands to your hips, square them out. Pause on the exhalation and feel the lift of the belly, Uddiyana Bandha. As you inhale, lift both the torso and the right arm towards the sky, and through the exhalation, lean out halfway, extending the right arm forward to the top of your mat, and then begin to twist towards the front thigh while maintaining length in the Sushumna, your spine. Place the right hand to the outside edge of your left foot or on a block to the outside or the inside of your foot. Go ahead and reach the left arm towards the sky, towards the dome, and stack your shoulders without losing the squaring sensation of your hips. Hug the inner thighs towards one another, towards the midline, keeping both those legs straight. As you inhale, stand firmly on that back foot and continue to rotate the torso inward as you draw the crown of your head forward and elongate the spine. Take several breaths here. As you inhale, continue to twist and rotate around the Sushumna, the spine. Breathing in and breathing out. On your next breath, release the left hand to the earth and take the right leg to join the left. And just take pause in your standing forward fold. From your standing forward fold, Uttanasana, preparing for twisting half moon, Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. So go ahead and shift your weight forward onto your right foot and lift your back left leg off the ground parallel to the floor. Go ahead and place your left hand or fingertips on a block or on the mat directly under your left shoulder. Begin to rotate towards the right as your fingertips of your right hand reach up for the sky. Firm up your standing leg and continue to draw the standing hip in towards the midline. Point the toes and the knee of your standing leg directly ahead to keep your knee safe. And go ahead and flex the foot of the lifted leg and point your toes dorsiflexion towards the earth. Draw the shoulder blades back and away from your ears to lengthen the neck. And stack the top arm directly on top of the bottom arm to create a long line of chi flowing from the earth to the dome above. Take several deep breaths here, Ujjayi breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Take a deep breath in and a dissolving breath back out. When you're ready, release your left leg to the earth to join your standing right leg. And release the right arm down towards the earth, coming back to Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. From your standing forward fold, Uttanasana, make your way back to your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, so we can prepare to take twisting triangle and twisting half moon on the opposite side. As you breathe in, step your right foot forward, and then step the left foot in a third of the way to shorten your stance. Straighten both your legs and fold forward. On an inhalation, lift halfway and flatten the back, gazing forward to the horizon. Float your hands to your hips the aces points. Pause on the exhalation and lean out halfway, extending the left arm forward to the top of your mat. Begin to twist toward the front thigh while maintaining length in your spine. Place your left hand to the outside edge of your right foot. Use a block if you need. And go ahead and reach the right arm towards the sky, stacking the shoulders and squaring the hips. Hug the inner thighs inward and continue to rotate your torso inward, drawing the crown of your head forward, elongating the spine, your main axis point. Take several breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release the pose into your standing forward fold, Uttanasana, by releasing the right hand down and drawing the back foot to join the front foot. On your next breath, preparing for your standing half moon. Go ahead and shift your weight forward into your left foot and lift your right leg off the earth, keeping it parallel to the ground. Go ahead and place your right hand or your fingertips on the earth or a block directly under the right shoulder. Begin to rotate your chest towards the left as the left fingertips reach for the dome above. As you inhale, go ahead and flex the foot of the lifted leg so your toes point towards the mat. Draw your shoulder blades away from your ears and lengthen your neck, stacking the top arm directly on top of the bottom arm. This will create a long line of energy, life force, energy to flow through the entire body. Continue to breathe here, finding length through your spine, engaging the quadriceps of both legs. Deep breath in. And on your exhalation, go ahead and release the right leg to join the left to the top of your mat in your standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Take a few breaths here, breathing in and surrendering the breath out. On your next breath, go ahead and make your way into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From your downward facing dog, go ahead and float into your plank pose, the divine stroke of the universe. Begin to lower one forearm at a time to the earth and stack the elbows directly under your shoulders the best you can. With your forearms pressing down into the earth, go ahead and reach your fingers forward and ground your palms into your mat. Draw your chest forward while you spread your collarbones wide and slide your shoulders down your back. And notice how your shoulder blades begin to press into your back and widen away from your spine. Begin to draw your lower belly up and draw the front of your ribs down towards the frontal hip points. With your feet hip width apart, send the energy out through your heels. Engage your quads by pulling up on your kneecaps. Soften your gaze directly beyond your fingertips. Keep your neck long and the cervical spine in line with the rest of your spine. Go ahead and take several breaths here, inhaling deeply and release the breath back out. Continue to engage the quads as you breathe in And as you breathe out, take another deep breath in and an exalting breath back out. To exit the pose, you can take a yin position by releasing the knees and pushing your hips back into child's pose. Or a little bit more yang, take one hand at a time and press back up into your plank pose. Either way, return back to your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay, so from your downward facing dog here, I'm going to give you two options. Option one is that you're going to take a low lunge again here and kind of more in a lizard position. I'll guide you through. Option two, you can take a more advanced arm balance called Kaundinyasana or flying split. So here we go. You decide. So from your downward dog, let's come into a low lunge with your left foot forward. And then go ahead and bring both of your hands to the inside of your front foot. This is a little bit more of a lizard position or a hip opener. You can stay right here and just breathe. If you want to go a little bit further and explore, come on with me. What you're going to do is think about lifting the back thigh, especially the inner back thigh. So it's a gentle little lift there upward towards the sky. And when you do that, that's going to automatically help you to sink your front thigh down and forward. Stretch both your legs apart from each other like you're trying to stretch your mat in two. And you want to reach your chest, not your chin, forward. And lead with your heart or the chest bone, the sternum, so that the weight of your upper body begins to balance out the weight of your hips. Now, this is where you're going to try and shimmy your left shoulder under your front leg here as far as you can. Again, you can stay right here and go no further. Once you've worked your arm under your leg, plant your hands firmly on the ground, either side of the front leg. Think chaturanga arms here. Broaden through your collarbones and lift the fronts of your shoulders up and away from the floor. Now, see if you can begin to extend and lift your left leg and foot off the earth. And as you begin to lift it off the earth, begin to shift your weight a little bit more forward. And here you keep spreading the collarbones, broadening them out. Maintain those chaturanga arms. And then using your toes like a lever or a seesaw, you can begin to shift your shoulders and your chest forward and see if you can lift your back foot off the earth. So keep the fronts of your shoulders lifted and level and try not to dip them below your elbows. Keep spreading your toes and stretch out through both legs with your gaze slightly forward. Take a few breaths here. It's all good, whatever you're doing. Beautiful. And then begin to release and step back to your downward facing dog here. So I would suggest to take a few breaths here in your downward facing dog, maybe even catwalking in your dog here, just to recapture your breath. And we're going to go ahead and take this on the opposite side. So go ahead and take your from your downward facing dog, we're going to go ahead and inhale and send your right foot forward into a lunge position. And then go ahead and bring both your hands inside the front of that foot. So you can stay right here in this lizard position and go no further. If you want to explore a little bit more, remember to lift the inner aspect of your back thigh, send it upwards, so you can begin to sink your front thigh downwards and forward. And then stretch your legs apart from one another again. Reaching your chest forward, lead with your heart. This is the time where you begin to shimmy the right shoulder onto your front leg as far as you can. Remember, you can stay here Be very strong in those arms. Good chaturanga arms here. Broaden your collarbones. And then see if you can begin to extend and lift your right leg and foot off the earth. If you're able to lift it off the earth here, begin to shift your weight a little bit more forward. Good. You want to make sure that you're spreading your toes here, sliding those back toes, and keep the collarbones broad. Maintain those chaturanga arms. And using your toes like a lever or a seesaw, again, you can begin to shift the shoulders and the chest forward. And see if you can lift your back foot off the floor too. Keep the fronts of your shoulders lifted and level. Try not to dip below the elbows. Keep spreading your toes, stretching them out through your legs in both directions. Your gaze is slightly forward. Take a few breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. One more breath here. Beautiful. And then go ahead and step back to your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana here. Great job. Take a few more breaths. From your downward facing dog, go ahead and float to your plank pose, the divine stroke of the universe, and slowly lower down to your belly. Bring the knees and the big toes close together and bend the knees. Relax the glute muscles as the heels come towards the sitting bones. Go ahead and grasp your ankles and flex your feet. If that reach is uncomfortable, you may hold the outside edges of your feet. Roll your shoulders back and expand your breath into your upper chest and lift the front of your body off the earth. Be cognizant not to throw your head back, but rather lengthen the back of your neck as the crown of your head reaches towards the sky. Lift the knees from the floor and press the shins towards the back of the room. With the ankles pressing into your hands, bring your big toes and knees hip-width distance apart and press the feet towards the ceiling. Take a few breaths here as you breathe into the gateway of life, inhaling and exhaling. Take a deep breath in and soften the breath back out. On your next exhalation, release the pose and press back to child's pose. Balasana. Become a child of the earth and be nurtured by the mother. Preparing for a Sukhasana twist here. So from your child's pose, go ahead and rise to all fours and cross your ankles behind you and roll onto your sitting bones. Cross the right shin in front of the left for Sukhasana, easy pose. If you choose, you can sit on a block or the edge of a folded blanket for further support. Go ahead and place your left hand directly behind the sacrum and lengthen your spine. Place your right hand on your left knee and roll your shoulders back and down. Draw your right hip back so that both your hips point directly forward. This will ensure that your twist is created through the movement of your shoulder girdle. Go ahead and shift your gaze over either the front or your back shoulder and keep your chin parallel to the floor. Begin to breathe here, slow and steady breaths, and just feel the spirals of creation as they raise up from the earth through the root base, Muladhara, and intertwine through all of the chakras, reaching up and releasing out through the crown, Shashashira. Take a few more breaths here. As you inhale and as you exhale. On your next breath, begin to unfurl your twist here, coming back to a neutral position. And go ahead and change the crossing of your legs in front. And we'll take our Sukhasana twist on the opposite side. Go ahead and place your right hand directly behind your sacrum and lengthen the entire spine here. Take your left hand and place it on your right knee and roll your shoulders back and down, widening through your clavicles, your collarbones. Draw your left hip back so your hip points, the aces, are pointing forward. Go ahead and shift your gaze over either the front or your back shoulder. Keep your chin parallel to Pachimama. And breathe. Drawing the breath in and releasing the breath back out. Continue to breathe through the spirals of creation, refreshing each chakra with each breath in and each breath out. On your next exhalation, unwind the spirals of creation and come back to a neutral position. From your easy pose of Sukhasana, extend your legs out in front of you so you enter into Dandasana. On an inhalation, go ahead and sweep your arms up overhead as you draw your shoulders down your back. On your exhalation, begin to fold forward from the crease of your hips. Gliding forward, go ahead and grasp the outside edges of your feet. Of course, if grasping the feet causes your spine to round, then begin first by engaging Uddiyana Bandha. So think about pulling your belly up and back. Squeeze Mula Bandha or the perineum. This will begin to lengthen the backside of your body. If you still feel that you're rounding forward, then slide your arms along the sides of your legs or use a strap. Or perhaps you need to bend your knees a little bit here. That will help to remove the rounding of the spine. As your feet begin to flex here, draw your pinky toe side of the foot towards your face, and the inner arches of your feet will begin to press slightly forward. This will help to keep your foot even as it comes into that dorsiflexion. Go ahead and send energy out through your heels and keep your legs active throughout this asana. So pull up on the kneecaps here. Draw the heart forward and elongate the spine. And then bow the forehead down. Introspection here. Svadhyaya, self-study. Keep the cervical spine in line with the rest of your spine. And go ahead and stay here and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Take a deep breath in. And release the breath back out. Take several more breaths in this fashion. Samadhi breath. Same breath in. And same breath back out. On your next in-breath, rise up halfway and exhale here. And then as you inhale, lift the torso all the way up. And as you exhale, release back onto your back body, onto the earth, and go ahead and hug your knees into your chest upon asana. From Apanasana, preparing for our supported shoulder stand pose, making sure you do have a block nearby. Go ahead and release your shins and place your feet hip distance apart upon the earth. Go ahead and press away the earth through the padas your feet and rainbow your hips upwards towards the dome. Place your block on the lowest or medium height underneath your sacrum, and then release the sacrum to melt into the block. For a moment here in your supported bridge, feel the essence of your big toe mounds pressing into the sandy soil of the earth, the knees and the shins projecting forward. The sternum is long, softness in the throat as the energy, the prana life force flows in a circular motion, udana. The backs of the shoulders pressing firmly into the earth, the back, brain, tucking down deep into the soil of the earth. As you take your next breath in, float the knees to the chest. And then as you inhale, lift both legs towards the sky. Press through the balls of your feet and spread your toes wide. Keep the sacrum rooted to the block. With your arms by your sides and the back of your head resting upon the earth, move the chin ever so slightly away from your heart. This way you maintain a curvature through your cervical spine. Soften your gaze. Either take your drishti to the tip of your nose, nasagra, or close the eyes fully and rest here, taking 10 to 12 breaths as you inhale and as you exhale. There's a cleansing of the energy through the soles of your feet that represent humility. With every step that you take upon the earth, allow it to be humble and filled with gratitude. As you take a breath in and soften the breath back out. As you release any tension through the backs of your shoulders, you wash away the impressions, the samskaras. You create a fertile bed to plant the seeds for new growth, a time for renewal. As you take a breath in and you release the breath back out. Take a deep breath in and a surrendering breath back out. As the back brain forges to the front brain, there is light, there is clarity to release what no longer serves a purpose in your life. As you take a breath in and release the breath back out. On your next breath, bending the knees into the chest, and come back down to a supported bridge pose so the soles of your feet reach the earth. Take a few breaths here. As you inhale, and as you release the breath back out. On your next breath, go ahead and press through the soles of your feet and lift the hips up. Gently remove the block from the sacrum and slowly release your back down to the earth. And as you feel ready, hug the knees into your chest. Take the right ankle over the left and gently rock front to back on the spine. And come to a seated pose of Sukhasana, preparing for your final meditation. in your pose of seated meditation, Sukhasana. Begin to close your eyes or rest them softly on the tip of your nose, Nasagra Dristi. Invite your entire body to soften, to release. Turn your palms face up to receive the energy of the universe while resting the backs of your hands upon your knees, perhaps joining the index and thumb together as one. Find the roots, the base of your spine, anchoring deeply to the core of the earth. With each in-breath, there is a lengthening through the sides of your body, the front and the back spine joining as one. The armpits soften. The collarbones broaden. The chest expands. The heart opens fully. Sides of the neck are long. The base of the skull broadens. There's an easing through the crown of the head as the petals of the lotus begin to flower open to receive the light from above. Begin to turn your awareness to your breath. Let it be natural and to flow with ease and grace. Filled with gratitude and humility. Spring is a time of renewal, a time of rebirth, new beginnings. Is it a time that represents the roots of humanity, our cultural heritage, our family, and our health? As you stay with your steady, even breath, take a moment to consider what you are manifesting as you enter this new phase of light and life on the vernal equinox. What is the intention you are setting for yourself at this very time of new growth and renewal? Look and listen within. Perhaps a word, a sound, a color, or a sensation comes to mind. Embrace it now. On each inhalation, internally and silently, say to yourself, I am, whatever your intention is. Perhaps inhaling, I am abundant, or I am bliss. On each exhalation, allow your intention to radiate through your body, your mind, and your spirit. And if your mind wanders, simply return to the repetition. I am abundant. I am bliss. I am joy. Continue with this meditation for as long as you'd like. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling every sensation in your body. Feeling your intention. Let it flow through the meridians of your body, through the arteries and veins, filling up every cell of your being. And let it float out and around you and into the universe, into the infinite universe. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. in this stillness. Remain in your breath. Remain in your intention. And give yourself permission to repeat this mantra throughout your day. Take it from your mat and into your life and out into the world. As you breathe in and as you breathe out. And as you feel ready, begin to deepen and widen your breath. And then gently and softly open your eyes. Be present in the here and the now. Namaste.